Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Going, Chief.
How we doing tonight?
We're doing good. How are you?
Good.
Doing good.
Hey,
Welcome
Lupe.
back.
Hi, Cindy. How are you?
Hanging in there. Get to hang out with this guy for an hour.
Get to or have to,
Yay.
They're kind of the same, aren't they?
I guess.
It's kind of a lot of fun, Cindy.
It depends on who's asking if it's a get to or have to.
Got it. All right. Well, I think we are up and running. And so we have special guests tonight. And one of the things we wanted to do is I know there's some exciting news that came out of community services. I think it went out to the whole community yesterday. And so we brought Cindy on to talk about that and some of the things that are going on. But I'm going to kick it over to Lupe real quick so she can do her intro. And then we'll kick it over to Cindy and let her introduce herself.
Buenas tardes a todos. Voy a dar la tradición esta noche. Si usted tiene alguna pregunta, por favor use la función de chat y nosotros con gusto le contestamos sus preguntas. Muchísimas gracias.
All right. So our special guest tonight is and host is Cindy Bagley. She is our community services director. And I thought it'd be a good opportunity to bring Cindy on, one, so we can introduce her to the community. And that she's a newly appointed, or I guess not too newly, but newly appointed director in a city. And so why don't you go ahead and take a minute to introduce yourself and let everyone know what role you do and play here in the city, and then we'll get right into it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me, Chief. It's pretty awesome to be able to be a part of your famous chats. So thanks. Thanks for the invitation to host. Hey, everybody. My name is Cindy Bagley. I may know you, some of you, I may not know others of you. Chief said I'm a newly appointed director, which is true. I got appointed to the director position in June, but I've been with the city and the community services department since 2016. So I've been here for a while. I started my recreation career in the town of Windsor, just a little bit north of here. And then moved over in 2016 to Rohnert Park as the community services manager. And then a couple of years later was the deputy director of the department, and then just recently promoted to director. And what do I do for the city? We run all of the recreation, fitness, and performing arts programs for the city. So the 3 community pools, the community center, the sports and fitness center, the Sparkles Performing Arts Center. We have a few other recreation buildings, our senior center, which is always very active. So we do a lot of community events and programming for anywhere from ages 6 months all the way to living. As long as you're alive, you can participate in our programs.
I was starting to wonder if there was an age limit there.
There is not an age limit, except for you, Chief.
That's why I was wondering. That's what I was wondering.
It's whatever age you are right now.
So yesterday, I think I received a new guide. I think it was your new guide that came out. And
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting because I think that's for spring and summer, right? That'll pretty much run through till the kids go back to school next year. So I know there are some exciting things in there that I saw. I want to talk about some of those things.
Yeah, it's awesome. First and foremost, I just want to express how excited we are that you got a guide at your house, because this is the first printed guide that we have produced since the winter spring guide of 1920. Once COVID hit, we chose not to produce written publications because everything was changing. We had no idea what programs we'd be able to offer. And so we just really stuck to an online guide only. So this is the first time we've printed one. It is chock full of activities. We're back to what we would like to consider pre-pandemic programming. There's only a couple classes that we offered in 2019 that are not here, but we are in full steam. Our teen camp is back. So that's for our 11 to 14-year-olds. It's excursion based. We were not able to produce that program during COVID because we put the kids in a van together and we travel all over the Bay Area. So we take them to Giants games, to Six Flags. We're doing for the first time this year a skate park tour. So during that week, they'll go to 6 different skate parks around Northern California. So that's a really exciting program to have back. We have a leader in training program. So anybody out there that has kids that are interested in someday working as a camp leader, they have an opportunity to train in our camp this summer, side by side with our camp counselors. We're really excited about that program. Lots of other camp opportunities, sports, our Camp Burton program, which is very popular. And actually, we've only started registering for 3 full days, and that camp is already 50% full. So we're really looking forward to being able to offer some awesome programs for our kids this summer. Swim lessons are also very popular. And then, of course, people are always looking forward to our community events. This year, 2022, the city of Rohnert Park celebrates its 60th birthday. And we decided that we would like to party with you all summer long. And so we will be extending Party on the Plaza on Friday nights from 5 to 8 to 5 to 9. We're doing a different theme each week, and really celebrating the city's birthday every night of Party on the Plaza on Fridays. That kicks off on June 3rd and will go all the way through August 26th. We have another great community event coming up on May 14th, and that's to kick off summer. So everything that you see in the guide, we'll be kicking that off on May 14th at the community center from 10 to 2. We'll be giving out free breakfast burritos and a free hot dog lunch. We'll have a live DJ. We'll have a foam party where kids can run around and play in foam. We'll be filling up squirt guns with non-toxic paint, so you can have fun with some paint and squirt each other. We'll have a live band, a youth band, actually based in Santa Rosa from the School of Rock. And then some of our contract instructors who teach some of the classes will be there and be doing demonstrations and taking on-site registrations that day. We'll be giving 10% off to any of the participating classes that you want to sign up for the summer. So it's really, there's lots. I could spend the whole hour talking about the guide, but that's really a high level overview. There is one thing in here that is very unique that you've never seen in our recreation guide before, and that is the Flynn Creek Circus. We are bringing a circus to town this year at the community center. It's an all human circus. They'll be here for 3 days in July. So check that out. They're also doing a youth camp associated with that when they're here. So if you have kids that are interested in acrobatics or other human circus acts, this would be an opportunity for them to learn from professionals during that week. So that's a new thing we've never done before, and we're really excited about.
That sounds great. Now, you were talking about the kickoff event. Is there going to be some special guests there?
There are going to be some special guests there. Our awesome public safety department is going to be helping by doing some of the barbecuing for us for the hot dog lunch. So eat if you dare. We'll also be doing a Touch a Truck event. That is Touch a Truck, not to be confused with Taco Truck. We'll be having a fire truck, I believe, out there with the ladder. Is it fire truck or fire engine?
The truck.
I always get them confused. The fire truck.
I did too when I first got here, but I was
some other public safety vehicles, some of our cool public work vehicles, the tractor out there, and some of our water utility trucks. And so we invite everybody to come out and check out those cool activities. So yeah.
Awesome. You know, one of the things that you and I talked about a little bit, and I know it's come up, is like struggling getting like employees. You know, I know you have so many programs, and I know you depend on a lot of, you know, youth, part-time employees who you don't want to take up their whole summer, but it would give them an opportunity to earn some money, start filling up a resume. And so I didn't know if you wanted to talk a little bit about just, you know, hey, if you want to apply, if you're looking for a good opportunity, might be a good time to start.
Yeah, it really is an awesome opportunity for young people, particularly looking for part-time work in the summer. We have swim instructor, lifeguard, camp counselors, and then we have facility attendants that work in our Callahan Sports and Fitness Center and with some of our special events and community rentals that happen in our facilities. And it's really just an awesome job opportunity, especially if you're looking at really only the seasonal work. You're home for the summer. You are too busy during the school year to have a job, and you really just want to fill some time out in the sun, working with the community, hanging out with kids, hanging out by the pool. We do certify you if you're interested in being a lifeguard and you don't have lifeguard certification. We do that in-house. So if you're interested in being a lifeguard, you don't have to have a certification already. We will get that to you upon completion of an interview and hiring process. And it's funny, you know, now that I'm in this career, I meet a lot of people out in the community and out in the world. And if you talk to people, you'll find out that a lot of people in a lot of different lines of work had their first job working at a summer camp or working at the pool. And so it really is a really great job opportunity to get you used to work, and it's fun, and get your friends to join. We have a really great team. It's an awesome summer job. I would highly recommend, and positions are open right now. So they can go to the rpcity.org website Find departments, look for human resources, and then there's a link that says jobs there, and you can find any of our summer jobs there. I'm also happy to answer any questions about it if you want to call and get some more information. We're very, very flexible. We have, like Chief said, we have lots of programs, lots of pool hours. And so we really can work around you having another job. If you have an internship somewhere, if you're taking summer school, we can work around your schedule.
Great, just checking for questions here. So, one of the other things that you and I talked about is, well, two things. First, let's talk about some of the rental opportunities. I wasn't aware until after I got here, I started getting a list of like, here's the weekend rentals. Just how many rental opportunities are available in the community. And I'm not sure if anybody knows that. And so maybe we can just let people know what is available to rent. If you do want to rent something, how do you go about it? Because you got to feel bad if someone shows up for a birthday party and they don't have any place, but they could have actually rented it.
Yeah, cool. So we do have 3 community buildings that we rent out for different events. That's our senior center, and that is after senior center hours. So it's not like you're renting a space while the seniors are doing their senior center stuff. It's in the evenings. We have an activity room there that seats about, I think, 120 people, up to 200, depending on how you have it set up. Our Burton Avenue Recreation Center, we also have that available for rent. And then the community center multi-use room, if you're looking for big banquet style. So the community center has the largest room. It seats 300 people for dining. And then it moves on down from there. We also have meeting rooms in the community center. If people are looking for small things, we've utilized some of those rooms in the past for baptism parties, et cetera, some smaller birthday parties. The community center multi-use room, if you want to reserve that, it does book out on the weekends really far in advance. We start booking 1 year in advance to the day. So if you want to book for April 5th of next year, we opened rentals for that date today. We'll open up for April 6th tomorrow, and so on down the line. The senior center is probably the most available, but again, we see most people want to have big, large events and they don't always fit at the senior center, but you can always call the community center and we'll chat with you about availability for any of your events. And we do all of the things. We have weddings in there, quinceañeras, baptisms, meetings, fundraisers. A lot of our nonprofits in the community do their crab feeds at the community center. It really is a great venue and affordable, which is also a highly desired feature. The question we get a lot of times, so I'll answer it here, is, are you allowed to have alcohol? Yes, you are. You do have to you have to provide insurance to the city, and there are some rules around the length of time you can serve and to what time period in the evening you can serve, et cetera. But we do allow alcohol, and we do also allow spirits. So some public facilities only allow beer and wine. We allow all of it.
And I think you also require they have to go out and get their ABC permit, which is signed by us, but also
you have to get the ABC permit if you're selling alcohol or if there's ticket sales to your event. So if you're doing a fundraiser and people have to buy tickets to your dinner, you do have to have an ABC permit. If you are having a wedding, a reception, and you want to serve alcohol, you do not have to have an ABC permit for that, but you do have to have liquor liability insurance. Perfect. Fun stuff.
Fun stuff. Yes. What about the parks, like some of the gazebos and that? Does that require a hold on those?
It does not require. That's a great question, Chief, and we get that question a lot. You do not have to have a permit to be in the parks and use our picnic areas. We do require a permit if you have a party, an organized group of 10 or more that is not open to the public. So if you want to use that picnic area just for you and your family, and there's more than 10 of you, you would need to get a permit for that. If you don't care who else is using the picnic area and you want to have your kid's 3-year-old birthday party in the park and you're fine with other people using the picnic area, you are welcome to go out there and set up and have a birthday party. If you want to guarantee that that space is just for your group, then you do need a permit for that. And you would come to the community center to get that as well. And we do reservations in 4-hour blocks of time.
Great. And there's a question that's come in. So you're generating some interest out there.
Great.
Before I go to that question, I wanted to, a discussion that came up recently was just a condition some people leave the parks in. And I think it's important on this call to talk about, that those are a city, they're maintained by the city. They're managed by you. They're paid for by the taxpayers, and we want them to be used by the taxpayers. But we would ask that my dad always said that my job was to leave a place cleaner when I left than I found it. And, that's just, I know we had that discussion about just the condition people sometimes leave our parks in. They go out there, they play, they overflow the trash cans, they leave trash, and then they leave. And, I don't know if you had anything to say about that. I would hope that maybe we can get a message out that said, hey, let's get in a habit of leaving them cleaner than we found them, so that the next person can enjoy it also.
Yeah. And I think that is use wide, not necessarily just picnic areas. I encourage all of our patrons, if you live in a neighborhood that's near a park and you and your kids and their buddies go out and play and you're sipping on Capri Suns and Cheetos, to throw that in the garbage can before you leave, because then renters come into the space and they see that the residents are already not taking care of it, so they don't feel like they need to as well. So it's sort of system wide. And yeah, to those of you who may want to rent our spaces and you have large groups coming out there, I get it. The appeal of having a party not at your house is that you don't have to deal with the big cleanup and stuff afterwards, and people aren't destroying your house. But we would ask that you clean up your garbage and make sure the picnic tables are clean. And if you spill a milkshake on the ground, give us a call. Let us know that happens so that we know to go out and take care of it the next day. Right now, the way that our park maintenance work is that our parks crews rotate through different parks throughout the city and on specific days. So sometimes it may not be until Thursday that they're at the park that's near your house and you rented it and you spilled a milkshake and it was 85 degrees outside and got all nasty and sticky, and we don't get to it until later on that week. Meanwhile, there's other people that want to come and use that space. And so we can use your help. We do not feel burdened by you calling us and letting us know that XYZ Park needs help. We can only know what we know, and we need your help for the rest. So please don't feel like you're telling on anybody or whatever. We really want to hear from you, and we want to make sure that your park spaces are beautiful, and we want them to be well used and well loved. And we want to take care of them, and we hope you take care of them in return.
Excellent. We have a question here. So will there be any more senior trips? ? Safari West sold out really fast.
Yeah, Safari West was really popular. There is a trip planned in June at the Armstrong Woods. And those are the only 2 trips that we have planned for the summertime, but we will be doing more trips in the fall and the winter and the spring of next year. So definitely when you see the next guide come out, which will come out in the end of August, look for more of the senior trips. The tricky part for us is that we only have 2 vans, so we don't have a lot of capacity to take a lot of people on trips. We're really limited by the number of people that can fit in the vehicles that we have available. But we will definitely, if you're not already signed up to get the Senior Center activity newsletter, you can reach out to the Senior Center and get a membership to the Senior Center is $25 a year, very inexpensive. And that would get you monthly access to the Senior Center activity newsletter. We call it the scan. That has loads of information outside of just what's in the guide and up and coming information about the Senior Center. But yes, definitely we want to bring more trips. And this year was light on the trips because of COVID. We're hoping that is not going to be an issue come the fall.
Excellent. We had another question come in here, and I'm actually looking for part of the answer. You may know it already, but the question is, are there fines for not cleaning up? And do you offer a text option to report a need to clean a park because of what you were talking about with the spill or something?
I don't think that there's a text option, but there is an option from your mobile phone to be able to go to the Gov Outreach site on the city's Facebook or on the city's website from your mobile device. And that goes directly to our Public Works maintenance team. And so you can select the park, you can select the location, and you can write a message about what the issue is. And then you should actually hear back from somebody when they get your message. And as far as fines, there is not a fine from the Community Services Department for not cleaning up parks unless it is from a rental. And then there would be money taken from their security deposit if they left the park in disarray. A lot of times we have people that use the parks just first come, first serve, which is definitely allowed. And there's really not a mechanism for us to fine them unless they're caught in the act. And then I would have to defer to the chief about whether or not that would fall under under a littering fine.
We could, if we had someone call in and say someone was just throwing trash all over, we could go out there and address it. There's some municipal codes that would address that too. Unfortunately, we don't usually get the call, and it's an after the fact that we're finding it. But I was looking on my because I have that on that app on my iPhone. It's called Go Request, and it's really easy to navigate. You can go in there. There's parks and community services. There's property maintenance. There's a lot of areas that you could actually send in a notification to us, and it goes right to city employees monitor this. And so, yeah, if you just download Go Request and Rohnert Park, you can send stuff in. Maybe not texting, but it's a way to send it in through your phone if you wanted to send that. And that goes, I mean, that's even long. That's public works concerns. There's some kind of road issue, a large pothole issue, a sidewalk issue. You can send that. You can send it to my department too. So you can send it in through that, and then it gets kind of sent to where it needs to go. So that's a great way to get us the information, but not be stuck on the phone trying to navigate the way to go. So Go Request is what that app is. Let's see, any more questions right now? Any questions right now? So the event, and you might have said it already, the big event, the kickoff event, what time does that start? That's a morning start?
Yeah, it's a morning and afternoon because we're calling it the summer kickoff brunch and barbecue. We recognize that people are very busy on their weekends, so we wanted to cater to as many people as possible who may have sports events in the morning or in the afternoon. They can come to one portion or the other. And so, yeah, you can come and stay for the whole thing. You can come for the beginning, you can come for the end. We'd love to see anybody out there who wants to come. It's a completely free event. We are trying to get some dessert vendors out there. Those wouldn't be free, but we're looking at hopefully getting Kona ice out and maybe some kettle corn vendors to supplement your salty brunch breakfast burrito and your hot dog lunch.
So it was today you and I were talking, and I said, hey, my daughter has requirements for community service. She has to get so many hours in, not only for her school, but also her student council requires. So she's got hours to put in. And I was saying, hey, maybe I'll bring her and, maybe put her to work. So I don't want to inundate you with people, but I know that Rohnert Park probably has the same thing. Are you looking for just some volunteers for that? Some youth that might need some community service hours? That I don't, like I said, I don't want to create this big line for you to deal with, but is there ways maybe for someone to help out, get some community service hours at an event like that? Or
we can, if there are people out there that are interested and want to help at a community event, we're definitely happy to talk with people to see if it's a good fit to be a volunteer. So definitely reach out to the community services department. Let us know what you're interested in, what you'd like to do, and we can tell you what kind of opportunities we have available for volunteering. And yeah, that'd be great. The more community involvement we have, the better.
All right. And someone has asked us if I think it's your community service board that you have out on the corner, if you can have something on there that talks about or introduces people to the Go Request app, that they weren't aware of it. And
that is a fantastic idea, and I will write that down. And yes, that's a great place for a message like that. We will definitely add that to the digital sign.
Hey, I will tell you what, I am not the brains of this operation. Yeah, so people give me ideas.
Yeah, right? I love it.
All of us look like we know what we're doing. I get great ideas from the public, I will tell you. Oh, hold on.
And if they're referring to the signs in the actual parks, that's something that that's not through my department, but I can definitely talk to Public Works and see if we can add that to our actual park signs, like where our park rules are. I think it'd also be a great addition to the bottom of the signs that say what the park hours are, that, to report an issue in the park, you can go to here, maybe with even like a QR code or something that can go straight to download the app.
So this is why I normally don't host my own chat, because I didn't read that. They were talking about the bottom of the signs at the park. So cool. Maybe one at the corner that, we can do both.
We can do both. Hey, there's more information is never a bad thing.
The QR code, everybody's going to QR codes, right? It makes it so simple. Everybody was with their phone.
Which is really interesting, right? Because QR codes were cool for a very hot second several years ago, and then they kind of went out of style, and then COVID came about and restaurants wanted to stop using menus. And so they put out QR codes, and now QR codes are back. I'm all for it. I love them.
They are. But I'll tell you, and this just leads to a public safety issue. We've seen some stuff going on, and we've had some some information. It's not a lot, but that people are starting to scam people with QR codes. Make sure that you know what you're putting your phone on. If it's just a QR code and you get an email or you get some text, be very careful, because people are using that QR code to get you to open up your phone. If you're somewhere, if you go to a restaurant, you're probably okay there. But if you just get a random one, I don't know that I would just log on to it, because they're starting to use that as a way to scam people.
Yeah.
And I hate to see people, lose money, lose their personal identification, and then we're trying to catch up to letting people know that. So just out front right now, be careful when you're scanning QR codes on things.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good tip, Chief. That's why you're such a good chief. You're always there for our people.
It's gonna make me blush, I'll tell you.
Hey, I was thinking about, as I was sitting here thinking about community events, one that I didn't mention that there's no spoiler alerts here, because we don't have anything fully planned yet. We don't even have anything partially planned, except for that we will be doing an Independence Day celebration this year in Rohnert Park, so that families don't need to go elsewhere to other cities to have a community celebration for Independence Day. I don't have details about times or what activities will be taking place. So we're really in the very infancy of the planning phases of it, but we know that we're doing one and we're really excited about it. It'll be the first time in a long time. I know it'll be the first time since I've been in the city that Rohnert Park will have Independence Day celebration. It will be on July 4th. I can tell you that. Which is a Monday this year, I believe. So we're looking forward to celebrating with the community on July 4th.
Absolutely. And on that note, I'm just going to go to this question that came in with the chat real quick. I'm gonna save my comment. So, what bands will be playing on the Friday nights this year?
We don't have the set list yet, and we should have that in the next probably couple of weeks. At the most. So the city, we use an awesome contractor, Kathy Slack. If you don't know her, you should know her. She's awesome. She does all the emceeing for the events, and she really helps the city select these bands. We've been, as a planning committee, trying to figure out what different themes we want to have for each week and trying to fit a band into what those themes are. So we're very carefully selecting the bands this year to go along with our party, and we should have that announcement out soon. We will be updating rpcommunityservices.org. If you go to that website, we will have a special events page, and we'll have a dedicated page to Party on the Plaza, a dedicated page for all the other community events. So as we start getting more details about each one of the different theme weeks and the bands that'll be playing, we'll be posting that on there. And then we also will do event nights. So we will create events on Facebook for each one of the nights of the Party on the Plaza for their own band, so that everybody can see which bands are playing when.
Excellent. So I want to back up just a little bit. I know a little bit ago we were talking about rentals, right? How to rent some of the Burton, the community center. And then we talked about the parks and how that works. I just remember one of the things that we ran into with COVID was some of our sports fields, and especially like Sunrise Park. And I know it was a different time. That was one of the only ways people could get out. We had a lot of people coming in from outside the city. But I know it's like Sunrise Park right now is a pretty popular park for organizations and the all-weather field. Is there something we could tell the public about how to best reserve like a ball field or one of our parks for sports organization? Or is there nothing different? You show up, you get the field. You show up late, you don't get the field.
No, sports organizations definitely. If you're a sports, like an organized sports team, that is definitely considered an organized group of 10 or more that would need a permit from us. If you want to just go pick up, you and a bunch of your friends in the neighborhood want to go do a pickup game in one of the sports fields, and you're fine with anybody else coming and joining your pickup game, you don't need a permit for that. That said, our youth sports organizations, Rohnert Park is built on youth sports. We have so many youth sports organizations and so many young athletes in the city that our sports fields really do get booked out from our organized sports organizations for most of the year during the popular times, like the after school period of time. But daytime during the summer, we encourage you to go out and play and have fun. For organized activities, though, you would need a permit. And most of the time it's tricky for a resident to get just a someone that lives in the community that wants to rent a soccer field because of the insurance requirements that you have to have in order to be able to rent a sports field. They're pretty high.
Okay. But speaking of sports, I think baseball season started today or yesterday, Major League. I know some of our youth leagues have been going already.
Yep.
But don't you have a baseball league coming up pretty soon?
We do. So we do this annually, and it is called the Junior Giants. It's a very popular program. We have both baseball and softball available. So softball is newish. We incepted that a couple years ago, and it is free, completely free, and it's all the way from ages 5 to 13. So it's an 8-week program. You have a practice and a game each week. The real premise behind Junior Giants is really teaching life skills. That's really what they focus on most, and you get to play baseball or softball while you're doing it. It's an awesome program. We don't take the registrations for that. It is done through the Junior Giants website. If you just go to www.rpcity.org/JR Giants, it will take you to the page that you need to get to be able to register, because that's directly through your Junior Giants program. But give us a call if you have problems. And we also need volunteers for that. So talk about volunteer opportunities. We actually need coaches, parents. If you have any skills with children, if you like sports, we would love to have you volunteer as a coach this season in Junior Giants.
What would a parent have to do that? Because it sounds like there's more than just knowing baseball. There's with your teaching life skills. So.
There's a full training program for our volunteers. So we reach out to the community service department and we'll walk you through the process of how to sign up. There is a process to make sure that we vet all the people that are working with children appropriately with background checks and such. But then there is a training program for all of the coaches and mentors in Junior Giants through the Junior Giants program.
Great. Someone's asking that they maybe a little bit more specific on when the Junior Giants program is held, like day and time. I imagine it's during the week, maybe Tuesday.
It is. Yep. It's during the week, and it varies depending on what team you end up on, which days you practice. But for T-ball, which is the 5 and 6 year olds, it is on Tuesday practices and Thursday games, and that goes from 5:30 to 6:30 at night. For minors baseball, which is coach pitch, those the 7 to 9 year olds or 6 with approval. That's Mondays or Wednesdays for practices and Fridays for games, also in the evenings. These are all evenings. And then minor softball, which is for 7 and 9 year olds, is Tuesday practices and Thursday games. And then majors baseball, which is 10 to 13 year olds, Tuesday practices and Thursday games. Again, all of that is in the evening, 5:30 and later. And then the locations vary. Like I said, it depends on how many people we have signed up. Again, we opened registration for Junior Giants on Monday, and we already have 100 people participating.
Wow. So that's going to take a lot of coaches.
Yeah, we need coaches.
Yeah. And if you're, so if you're going to coach the little ones, the T-ball, that's a challenge. That's very energetic coaches we need, because keeping them all rounded up out there.
Yep.
It reminded me of when you play soccer and everyone's just running together right after the ball. But
totally.
That's a great program. I was fortunate to coach my little one when she was 5 in T-ball, and never again. She moved away because she was not a baseball player. But it's
fun. Yeah. I started my career in recreation with Skyhawk Sports Academy, which is a youth sports camp provider nationwide. And so I spent 2 full years teaching little kids how to play basketball and T-ball and come up with some really good tricks on how to engage the little guys. But it's fun. And yes. Junior Giants is completely co-ed. So anybody can play baseball, T-ball. It's your call.
That's great. What about one of the things that I see picking up in popularity, and I stop by and talk to them all the time, and they're trying to get me to play, is pickleball.
Pickleball. I knew where you headed with that.
Yeah, well, and because I didn't know about pickleball until I came here, and I know it's getting pretty big. Like how many? Well, a couple of things. How many courts do we have, and is it kind of a first come first serve? I've been asked that, and I wasn't sure. And then maybe you can talk about the court that's over on Santa Alicia that just got finished, and what that Futsal, something.
Futsal.
Yeah, maybe
Futsal.
talk
Yeah, sure. So pickleball, fun fact, is the fastest growing sport in the United States with 4 million people currently playing. Um, we as a city are fortunate to have a pickleball ambassador that lives in the city of Rohnert Park, and who really championed getting these courts in the city. Doing the public engagement process, came to Parks and Recreation Commission meetings, came to City Council meetings, went back to Parks and Recreation committees, communicated with staff. It was a long process, which generally it is to get new amenities in cities, but stayed with it. And sure enough, we have now 6 permanent pickleball courts at Sunrise Park. And also, because of the popularity, have 6 temporary courts that are painted on top of the tennis courts at Sunrise. So total pickleball opportunity court to play on courts is 12, though the 6 temporary ones have to have the net set up. And so the Roanoke Park Pickleball Club players typically are the ones that set those up. All pickleball play at this moment is first come, first serve. We do have some pickleball classes available in our recreation guide. So if you're interested in learning how to play pickleball, we have a couple different options. We have formal learning. So we have a pickleball instructor who, this is not going to make sense to a lot of people, but is a level 5 pickleball player, which is the highest ranking you can have in the nation for pickleball. He travels all over the place, playing in pickleball tournaments, is like a champion pickleball player. And we're fortunate to have him as our instructor. And so he'll do beginning level instruction, and that's for a fee. And then there's also an intermediate level instruction. So if you already know how to play and you just want to get better and improve your game, we have that. And then the Roanoke Park Pickleball Club is actually doing free introduction to the game. So they're not really going to teach you how to play. They're not going to give you, pointers on how to have a perfect stroke or a backstroke and that kind of stuff, but they'll give you an overview of basics. Here's how you hit it. Here's the rules of the game. Here's where you're supposed to stand, and that kind of stuff. And they do that for free. And I have that somewhere in the guide. If you want to give me a second, I can find it. But they're doing that on 2 days a week. And I believe that's Thursdays and Saturdays. And those are on the temporary courts. So that's, again, first come, first serve. Don't have to sign up for it. Don't need to pay for it. Just show up, and that group of players will show you what to do. You will see lots and lots of people out there on a couple of different days of the week. I believe right now it's Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. It might look like it's reserved because there's 60 people out there playing. It is not reserved. It's just a very popular time for pickleball players to play. And our pickleball club is there, and they're happy to help anybody who stops by and wants to play on those days. But it's really fun. It's a combination of tennis and wiffle ball and ping pong. It's a really awesome sport. You really should try it, Chief. If you go out, I'll go out.
I keep threatening to go out there and do it.
If you do it, I'll do it. I'll even do it in my heels.
Okay. How about the new
Futsal.
futsal court on Santa and Felicia?
Yeah, so we had an awesome organization called the Goals Foundation who worked very closely with the Latino Alliance to bring these courts to Rohnert Park. They funded the project. Futsal it's like indoor soccer, but outdoors and no walls. So it's a much smaller court. The ball is created to stay on the ground. It's really to help with touch. So, small movements and passing and small sided games. They're open to the public. They're also first come, first serve. We do have a group that does open organized play on Friday nights. So if you want to head out there on a Friday night, there's organized play that's happening out there for anybody really to participate in, and people that know how to play futsal that can help introduce you to the game. And it's really awesome.
Great. Yeah, I was watching those courts being built, wondering what it was, and I really want to get out there and see a game. It looks like something to be really fast and exciting. So
it is really fast. It's cool.
Thank you. So there was a question came in from Facebook. So I'll ask, I'll first you answer this one. I got a follow-up for you. So is there any chance of getting additional mountain bike trails at Taylor Mountain or Crane Creek Park? I understand that these are county parks.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the answer there. Unfortunately, we don't have jurisdiction over the county park, so you'd have to check in with the Sonoma County Regional Park system to find out about that. I think it'd be awesome.
So I guess that question got me thinking about, I know you have a lot of, I guess they'd be maybe contract or consultant instructors, right? Not all the instructors work for the city of Roanoke Park, but they contract through you to put on a class. Am I right about that? Okay.
Yes.
So if like the person who wrote in, if they wanted to, let's say, start a mountain bike class, we're going to meet every Wednesday. We're going to go and we're going to, do they present you with an idea and a plan, and can someone create a class and run it through the rec center, I guess is what I'm asking.
Absolutely. And we invite anybody who has an expertise in an area that they feel they want to bring to the community to do exactly that. And that would be just contacting us. We have a course proposal form. So you'd fill that out and let us know a description of what you'd like to do. It's really because they're independent contractors, they really get to sort of determine what the price point is, how many people can sign up, what the ages are. They're really the expert in that area. They do still have to go through the city's fingerprinting process and the background checks in order to be able to provide services in the city. But during the school year, the majority of our programs are offered by independent contractors that come in and bring us a great idea. And we do try not to do competing programs. So we try not to have two of the exact same type of yoga, for example. So we'll have an instructor that teaches gentle flow yoga, and then we'll have an instructor that teaches Payo, for example. So they're different enough, but we wouldn't want to have two fencing instructors teaching fencing classes. So if we already have the service, we're not trying to duplicate and have people compete with each other. We really want to just fill our enrichment opportunities with a bunch of different unique things. So yeah, and that doesn't need to just be sports and fitness, etc. I mean, we have a contract instructor that does floral arrangement classes. We have a pottery studio. So we teach people how to do clay and pottery making. We have an instructor that does Playwell Technologies. They do engineering with Lego bricks. So, I mean, really the options are sort of endless. If you have an expert area of expertise and you want to try and offer some services to the community and programs, we'd love to have you. And there's just a cost sharing scenario with that. We put the programs in our recreation guide, and the city takes a small portion of the revenue per registration, and the instructor gets the rest.
Great. Sounds like a good idea. Hopefully there's people out there who have these talents and have just been looking for a place to use them.
Yeah, we are open to all the ideas. Bring them our way.
You and I have talked about it, and I keep threatening that I would love to like do something like a children's cooking class, just to teach how to cook some basic things, right? Because I would have loved for my daughter to be able to, boil water and cook mac and cheese on her own.
You all heard it here. Chief Mattos wants to teach a cooking class.
That's can't turn this up around on me.
I didn't say it. I'm simply repeating what I heard.
So many talented people out there. Hopefully your doors will just get flooded with people coming in with ideas.
Yeah.
So I talk about the Independence Day celebration real quick, because I know that's it's going to be clear quick. I can't not believe we're in April already, for one thing.
I know.
We got May and June, and we're gonna be on top of this thing. So we are actually already kind of putting our plans together and how to deal with the 4th of July. As you know, that is a huge day for public safety here. And, with the election took place and the vote, and fireworks. So I guess it's never too early to start talking about, the fact that, fireworks are no longer going to be sold or used in City of Roanoke Park. And we're counting on our public to start making them, socially unacceptable. And so we're putting that plan together, but I'm hoping people can already start getting an idea of what they want to do for the 4th of July that doesn't involve fireworks, because I don't want the officers put in a position where they have to issue fines and stuff. And I want people to enjoy it. So this Independence Day celebration that you're talking about may be the perfect place for people to come out and celebrate the day, our independence and what the day means, but find an alternative to fireworks, whether they're safe or sane or illegal. We can't have them in the community, and I don't want people getting in trouble. So I think I'm looking forward to the event. I know last year with COVID and everything, we were trying to there's so many challenges with it. So you have your work cut out for you, but I think there's some groups that are wanting to help, if I'm not mistaken, and people. So, but I'm going to ask the people right now, hey, we have to work to make the fireworks unacceptable in our community. We have people who suffer from the illegal fireworks. We have animals who suffer from the illegal fireworks. They're dangerous, right? Every year our fire dangers are going up, right? There's no longer a fire season. It's just a fire year. We've already had fires, and people, and I know a lot of people think it's the illegal ones, but the safe and sane ones cause a lot of our trash can fires, and we've had houses catch on fire. So they're no longer legal in our city. So let's start now finding alternatives to fireworks so that we can have a safe 4th of July. And my staff can go home early this year. It's not going to happen, but that's the goal. I keep telling them, if we go out there and we keep doing our job, people will get the message, realizing that the only way people are going to, you have more power as a community to help get this right. You have to help police your neighbors. So that's all I'm going to say about fireworks, because I'm sure the comments are going to start coming now. I might have can of worms, but like I said, it's just never too early to start getting that message out. And then I will say that one of the things we are seeing, and a lot of the complaints I'm still getting, over traffic, is speeds. We had 3 collisions today. We had a rollover collision. We had a DUI collision out on the Roanoke Park Expressway at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And then we had another collision over in J section today. And so I'm just going to ask people, just slow down, leave a little bit earlier. Try not to put yourself in a situation where you got to speed. And I don't even know that people speed because they're late. People just speed because they're in a hurry, right? Or they just got to get there. And, you're putting yourself in jeopardy. You're putting other people in jeopardy. We have a lot of people out biking. We have a lot of people out walking right now because of the weather. Just, when you get behind that 2,000-pound vehicle and you start it up, think about all of those people, right? And think about one of your family members may be out there walking, and you want people who are driving around them to be respectful and safe. So do the same for everybody else. Just slow down, take your time. You'll get there. If you're a couple minutes late, blame it on me. All right, I'm good with that. All right, but we got to slow up. We got to slow down there.
Hey, Chief, can I make a comment on that? Just having my office so close to the high school. Something I've noticed, we all know as adults that it's terrifying to have teenagers behind the wheel, but we all were one at one point, and we're very excited to be driving, but also can recognize that teenagers that are new behind the wheel don't have the reaction time that we do as an adults. And so if we're, driving fast on the roads at around the time that school gets out, and we're being reckless and fast and switching lanes quickly, the teenagers just don't have the skill set from years of driving experience to respond well enough to it. And so, I just see a lot of people zipping down Snyder across the high school area. And it makes me nervous every single time, just because, I don't want to blame it all on the teenagers, because I get it, they're learning still, and you got to learn at some point, and you don't have experience till you have it. So slow down around the schools and the, the community center.
That's a great point. That, we definitely know that there are certain areas of the city during school year that are going to be busy. The high school, around Lawrence Jones, around all of our elementary schools. And I get calls from people who talk to me about at the drop off and pickup times around all these schools, but mainly high school because of Snyder and RPX and Southwest right there. It's just their main thoroughfares. And what can you do about the congestion when school's getting out? It's like, there's nothing I can do about the congestion. You've got, school has 2,000 kids in it. Half of those kids might be driving. The roads are going to fill up. And so I tell them, if you're going to be driving at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you got to get from point A to point B and the high school's between you, maybe take a different route, just right. And that's the best way to avoid the congestion from the school and not add to the congestion. So I understand that gas is $5 and some a gallon, so you might not want to take the trip around Commerce to get to where you're going. But a lot of times it's just thinking about, where am I heading, mapping that out before you get in the car, understanding, it's 3 o'clock, Snyder's going to be packed, I'll go a different way. Yeah. You're right. We as we drive years and years of driving, you could see things and anticipate things. Oh, that person's going to pull out. I could tell by the way they're sitting. You're right. The 16, 17-year-old driver who hasn't had that driving experience isn't thinking that way, right? They're thinking that everybody drives, has read that entire manual that the NB
We did 25 years ago.
Yes, we did. And, so yes, there was a manual, but not everybody read it, but they were smart enough to pass the test. But yeah, just be careful.
Can I change the subject really quick, Chief?
You're the boss.
I was thinking about the high schoolers and, talking about high school, and this is how my brain works. It just goes a million miles an hour. And we talked about jobs earlier, and, we talk in our office about what kind of students we'd like to work for us and what a great fit it is for certain kinds of people with certain aspirations. And especially in the summer jobs, if you want to be a teacher or you are a teacher, working in our summer day camp is an awesome experience, not only because you're working with kids day in and day out, but we are really an inclusive employer. Like, we want your ideas. We want you to help us mold camp and give us ideas for activities and help make these kids have an awesome summer. And, we really have this philosophy that, there's some kids that parents can only afford 1 week of camp, and that is week 8. And week 8 is week 8 for our staff, but it's the first week for that kid who's been waiting for 7 weeks to come to the summer camp for the first time. And so it's really an awesome opportunity to learn about how to get through working with kid fatigue, because teachers definitely get fatigued throughout the school year and that kind of stuff. And then for anybody who's interested in working in the hospitality and tourism industry, and I know there's a lot of those students in Sonoma County because we are a very tourism-based county, working in our community centers during our special events, while not the most glamorous job, admittedly, it does give you straight on hands-on experience with special events, because we have wedding receptions and quinceañeras and these big parties that you would be working with every single weekend to really get an idea of, meet caterers and DJs and that kind of stuff, to get an idea of what this hospitality world looks like in Sonoma County. So probably things that you wouldn't necessarily think have direct correlation to those professions, but definitely do. So that's what we're looking for. I also want to mention that we do have a full-time position open right now. The application closes on Friday, and that's for a member services specialist at the Callanan Sports and Fitness Center. So that's a front desk position, but this is the first time we've had a full-time position there in a very long time in this role. So if we have members of the sports center who are looking to get a full-time job in the city, we want people to help make the member services or the member experiences awesome, even more awesome than they already are. And it's pretty flexible. We're open from 5:30. Well, the hours would be 5:30 in a.m. to 9:30 p.m. So any 8-hour time frame in there would be available. So we don't have a specific, it's not like you have to work 5:30 to 2:30 or 12 to 8:30, et cetera. So we're sort of flexible on that. But if you're interested, rpcity.org. It's an awesome career opportunity to work in the gym and get a free membership.
And get to work for you.
And get to work for me.
Yeah.
And get to see Chief. He stops by all the time.
So on that, I will tell you that a lot of members of public safety and even in other cities where it's police and fire, they're separated, but started out when they were as lifeguards. They started getting medical background. They started, getting that supervision background. And I can't tell you the number of applications I read where a first job was in a rec department as a lifeguard. So, if you're interested in, public safety or even medical, paramedic, it's a great place to start. And what a better, you get to be outside, get to wear shorts to work, right? You get trained in CPR and first aid. It is a really good job, and you get to work with the kids. And if you've never done it, it's one of the most rewarding things you'll ever do, is work with kids.
I think our city manager and our assistant city manager both worked in recreation jobs in their early lives as well. That's what I'm saying. There's just a lot of different people out there in the world that started working for their cities in these camps and swim lessons and lifeguarding positions. So.
Yeah. So there was a comment that came in on Facebook that said, suggested the Chief's cooking class name should be Chief Chef and Firehouse Chili.
Totally.
I
volunteered a taste test.
Yeah. I make some mean chili. I
I
can
bet
tell
you do.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if there's any more questions here. I don't see any here, and I'm not seeing any. But
I have one more thing to, well, I guess a couple more things then to share with the community. I'm not sure that we presented this right when COVID hit. So for the first time, we created a recreation package for people in the community to be a member of pretty much everything that we offer. It is through the Sports Center, so you get a free you get a membership to the Sports Center for a family of 6. And 6 is 2 adults, and the kids can be up to age 25. So you have your kids that are off in college would get a membership to the Sports Center, but it's a full family package. It comes with unlimited lap swim. It comes with 20 passes to the pool for the summer per month. It comes with guest passes to the pool as well. And then 25% off of our swim lessons and 10% off of our camps and programs. And then some of our fitness classes as well. So it's really a full package. It's $85 a month, but for the first year, you'd have to pay for the whole year membership. So it's $999, which sounds like a lot, but it's for a full year for 6 people to be a member of the gym, access to the pool for 20 different days a month for recreation swim, and then discounts on our camps and programs. So that's a new program that we, like I said, we introduced it right when COVID hit, and it's never really had a chance to get it out to the community, but it's in the guide. And if you have more questions about it, you can reach out to us. And then on the swim lesson tip, it's probably the most popular thing that we offer in the summer. They are filling. I highly encourage anybody who wants to put their kids in swim lessons this year to get online and try and register them. If they are full, I would encourage you to get on a wait list. There tends to be a lot of movement in the first month or so, as people know that our swim lessons fill up quickly. So they sign up for a program, not really knowing what their summer schedule is, so they can get a spot. And then as they develop their summer plans, they'll back out. And so some of those waitlisted participants will get a spot in there. But swim lessons are really important. We want to make sure all our kiddos out there know how to swim. And we also have Vamos a Nadar coming up, and that is a free swim lesson program. It's offered through the county. We're doing a Rohnert Parks version is on May 4th at Honeybee Pool. And so that is, like I said, a free swim lesson program called Vamos a Nadar. And I'm sure Lupe can pronounce that better than I can. And you can register that through the county.
Perfect. Well, this is, I'm sure this is going to rank #1 in chats over the last year and a half. You know, one, I appreciate you coming on. You know, it's so important for our community to know who works in a city for them and what they do and what they're offering. And I don't think there's another area of the city that offers more to our community, right, than rec, Parks and Rec, and community services. So thank you, one, for volunteering to come on. Thank you for all this valuable information. I've learned a little bit tonight.
You want to learn something else, Chief? I'm sorry. I'm so, you know, I have 3 minutes, right? This is actually really important and does involve community engagement. We are updating our Parks and Recreation Master Plan. The RFP is out right now. And so the Parks and Recreation Master Plan really informs how we are going to grow and maintain our parks and our recreation services over the next 10 years. And so once we hire our consultant, we'll be reaching out to the community and asking you, you know, what kind of things are we doing well in our recreation? What kind of things are we doing well in our parks? What are we missing in our parks and our facilities? What kind of recreation amenities do we need, et cetera, over the next 10 years? So please be engaged in that process. The best way we can build a comprehensive community services department is to find out really what the community wants and try our best to provide that. And so the only way we can do that is to have you be engaged with our public processes. So there'll be at least 5 public meetings associated with that, plus some city council and Parks and Recreation Commission meetings. And we're going to try and hit the different neighborhoods. So look out for the information to come on that in the next probably 6 to 8 months.
Excellent. I know that's important. And then I also wanted to just throw out there, on April 16th, there are 2 big events going on. One is the town hall meeting with city council. They're going to have a town hall meeting at the community center on Snyder. I believe it's at 9:30 a.m.
Yep.
And then the other event, and certainly not a competing event, but the other event is the Easter egg hunt that will be put on at Foxdale Golf Course at the driving range area. There'll be more information on that, but you can go on a public safety's website to get that information on the Easter egg hunt, and you can go on the city website to get the information on the community town hall with your Roanoke Park City Council.
Yep. Mark your calendars for May 14th for the community summer kickoff, barbecue and brunch. We look forward to seeing everybody there. Thank you so much for spending time with me tonight. And Chief, thank you so much for having me. And I look forward to seeing you all in our parks, in the community center, and our sports center, performing arts center. Oh, that's the other thing we didn't get to talk about, Spreckles, but Matilda is opening on May 6th. Matilda is an awesome family-friendly show. Bring your kids. We do have kids ticket pricing, and it's going to be a blast. It was supposed to open in May of 2020, and it's been pushed off all the way until now. And so please come to Spreckles Performing Arts Center and see an awesome musical in May.
Yeah, we have a real gym in our community having the pack. So thank you.
You really do.
And please,
Yep.
please get out there and watch these. That's what, the actors want, that support, and we want you to use that.
Yep.
So,
And aspiring little actors and actresses, we have a kids camp as well in the summer to do Once Upon a Mattress. So if you want your kid to get some live theater experience, we have a kids camp there too. So lots of fun. Like I said, we could spend hours talking about all we have to offer, but really, I appreciate being here with everybody tonight, and thank you.
thank you so much. And Lupe, welcome back. Thank you. Lupe actually stays after work an hour to do this hour for us. So she's amazing. Rebecca, thank you. And we will see you in 2 weeks.
Bye,
Take care.
everybody.